In this episode, we got jaw-dropping sightings of Bigfoot, ghosts, and even alien ships. The clip on your screen was captured by some beachgoers who were out to have fun. Everything was going according to plan until one person noticed something serpentine swim towards them from the sea. "Wait, that's not normal," he said. After raising an alarm, he took his phone to film, and yes, he was not seeing things. There was actually something out there. Once it noticed it had been seen, it took a U-turn and started swimming back into the deep. This allowed them to get a better look at it, and boy, was it long. Its length and width confirmed all they needed to know, that this was not any fish they knew, and despite its serpentine nature, it didn't look like any snake they knew either. It was much larger and thicker than anything out there. It was this that led them to conclude that this was most likely the legendary sea serpent. For those unfamiliar with it, it's a mythical marine creature described for centuries by sailors and explorers as a gigantic snake-like beast that slithers through the ocean with undulating motion. It's often depicted as having a long, scaly body, dragon-like features, and sometimes multiple fins or humps. According to old tales I could find, sea serpents were feared as harbingers of doom or powerful monsters lurking in the deep. Their sightings and reports span cultures, from one as ancient as the Norse Jormungandr, who was said to encircle the world, to more recent sightings by 19th century naval crews. Despite its presence in many cultures, it's largely remained a myth as there were no clear clips of it, till the one on your screen. Do you think this is legitimate? If it is, do you think its sighting is an indication something horrible or bad is coming? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section. This next piece of footage is pretty wild too, and it's been making the rounds online. A hiker was out exploring a remote stretch of forest when he stumbled across something he couldn't explain. He was just walking along the trail, filming his journey like many hikers do, when he spotted a massive creature. And when I say massive, I mean bear-sized huge. But this thing was not a bear. It appeared to be walking on all fours, which would make you think bear, right? But its limbs were unusually long, not at all like the stocky build of a bear. And its head looked more like a Bigfoot than anything else, but as we all know, Bigfoot is said to be bipedal, walking upright on two legs. So what was this thing doing crawling around on all fours? Some people online were quick to say it was just a person in a suit, maybe pulling a prank or filming a fake, but others pointed out that the size and proportions just don't match a human frame. The arms are too long, the shoulders too wide. So if it's not a bear and it's not a person in a costume, could we be looking at a rare sighting of an unknown cryptid?
The death toll in the catastrophic roof collapse at a nightclub in the Dominican Republic is rising.
Just this year in the Dominican Republic, tragedy struck at a popular nightclub during a concert. Famous singer Ruby Perez sadly lost his life that night when the ceiling of the venue suddenly collapsed, crushing the crowd below. It was a devastating event that took the lives of over 220 people, including the performer. But as horrifying as this incident was, something else happened that left people deeply unsettled. After the chaos, when rescue teams came to search the rubble for survivors, people were being pulled out dazed and in shock. But someone inside was filming, and they filmed something strange. In the footage, just for a brief second as the camera pans across the debris, a dark figure can be seen standing on one of the fallen blocks. It has no clear face, no features, just a tall, shadowy shape, and then it vanishes without a trace. That split-second glimpse has sent the paranormal community into a frenzy. Some believe it was the Grim Reaper appearing to collect the souls of the lost. Others claim it was a demonic presence, the very entity that caused the tragedy. But what do you think?
It's an alien. Oh my god, look at that.
This video was taken way back in 2008, and it's one of those clips that still gets people talking.
It's crazy. Whoa.
Oh, it's a video you're taking?
Whoa, there it goes.
A young boy was out with his family, filming around the Rocky Mountains in North America, just filming the beautiful scenery with a small camera. But then, something strange appeared in the sky. It wasn't a bird or a plane. It was a ring, a perfectly round, shiny ring floating in the air. It didn't look like a cloud at all. It didn't shift or break apart like clouds usually do. It just hovered there, completely still. Then after a few moments, it slowly began to move higher into the sky, and without a sound or a flash, it vanished. People who've seen the footage have called it a ring-shaped UFO, and honestly, that's exactly what it looked like. Not a balloon or a drone, just a hovering ring appearing out of nowhere and disappearing like it was never there. So what did that little boy capture on camera? Was it a rare, natural phenomenon or something not of this world? You tell me.
I know where I am. It's crazy. Whoa.
Oh, it's a video you're taking?
Whoa, there it goes.
When I hear New Orleans, the first thing that comes to mind is vampires. There's always been this long-standing belief that they walk among us, and if they do, New Orleans seems to be one of their favorite places to reside. Now here's something that recently happened there that's really creeping people out. A group of friends went out clubbing while visiting the city. One of them was dancing, having fun, and being filmed by her friend when a strange man appeared in the background. He slowly walked up to her and started dancing very closely, but his expression never changed. While she was smiling and enjoying herself, he stayed completely stoic, like he wasn't really present. Even creepier, his eyes never blinked, and they had this weird, distant glow in the low club light. The girls didn't think much of it at the moment, but when they watched the video later, they were totally freaked out. People online have been reacting the same way, with many claiming he might be a vampire or some kind of reptilian entity hiding in plain sight. Skeptics, on the other hand, say he could have just been high or zoned out, but that blank stare, the way he moved, and how he seemed to lock onto her, it's unsettling. So do you think this is just a strange encounter in a nightclub, or did this woman get a little too close to something inhuman? Some people were out on a boat in the waters of Canada's Okanagan Lake. It felt like a calm, peaceful day, but they were definitely not prepared for what they saw next. Far off in the distance, they spotted something moving beneath the surface. At first, it was barely noticeable, just two small points sticking out of the water. But when the footage was zoomed in and enhanced, those 2 points looked a lot like horns. Now that's not something you usually associate with any known sea creature, so what exactly were they looking at? Well, according to indigenous Silex lore, there's an old legend about a creature said to live in that very lake. It's called the Ogopogo. It's described as a serpent-like beast, sometimes even compared to a dragon with features like horns and a long winding body. While many have written it off as a myth, we all know how often ancient legends seem to creep into real life, so the question is, did these boaters just catch a glimpse of the legendary Ogopogo, or is it just something else entirely?
Yes, we are here! We are here. We are very happy to be here. Yes, indeed, dear one. Yes, we are here.
In this new age we're living in, a lot of things are happening out there that feel extreme. Much of it seems rooted in belief systems and spiritual practices, and there's a growing wave of influencers claiming they can channel some kind of entity, and most of these entities are said to be alien or otherworldly. These individuals often have very unique appearances, unusual mannerisms, and ways of speaking that definitely set them apart. Some say they're star seeds, others claim to be aliens in disguise, and some believe they can communicate with interdimensional beings or higher entities. A few even say they act as mediums for messages from beyond our realm. But when you watch how they behave, it gets hard to tell if this is part of a growing spiritual movement or if it's something psychological that's being overlooked. What do you think? We can't deny that technology is incredibly helpful and innovative. That's just a fact. But sometimes with the kind of tech that's being developed lately, you wonder if scientists ever think about when to stop. Take this new invention, for example. It's a robot, but it doesn't look like your typical machine. Instead, it looks like a shapeless rolling blob, like a pile of goo. Don't be fooled by its strange form. This robot is highly advanced. It's said to be able to move through solid walls by breaking itself down into particles, slipping through small gaps, and then reassembling on the other side. They call it a particle-armored liquid robot, and it's designed to be used in medical procedures and scientific studies, which sounds useful, right? But as cool as it sounds, a robot is still a robot, and one that can go anywhere, slip through anything, and rebuild itself? Well, imagine if that fell into the wrong hands and you can't run or hide from it. Yeah, that's a little unsettling. So do you see this as a genius invention, or is it something that we might regret later on? When I say China is running a whole new age of the world in tech, this is exactly what I mean. This humanoid robot is being introduced as China's newest generation of farmers. It walks through crops with two gadgets attached to its arms, spraying something onto the plants as it moves. Now, I'm definitely curious about what exactly it's spraying, but here's the bigger picture. These robots don't get tired. They don't take breaks. They don't sleep. They're basically 24/7 farmers constantly working. That might sound like a dream for productivity with faster work and bigger yields, but, well, what happens to traditional farmers? If machines start taking over even this kind of manual labor, where does that leave the people who farmed for generations? It's a huge leap for technology, but maybe a warning sign for humanity too. What do you think? These days, our skies are starting to look like scenes straight out of a real-life sci-fi movie. There's just so much strange activity going on up there. If it's not UFOs, then it's portals or maybe even drones. No one really knows for sure anymore. Someone shared this eerie footage taken just the night before. There was a storm brewing, and the sky was lit up with lightning strikes, and then something strange happened. Right in the middle of the chaos, a strange circular shape appeared in the sky. It looked like a round portal, and just as the lightning began to intensify, the object started slowly rising upward into the clouds. That's where the footage cuts off. Now, most people in the paranormal community believe this could be a portal opening, and it really does look like it, but one commenter suggested it might just be a lens flare caused by the lightning. What do you think? While you share your thoughts, take a good look at what someone found on their deer cam. In an isolated area near their property, they had set up a deer camera to monitor wildlife, but instead of a deer, they captured something far stranger. The camera picked up an old swing that had long been abandoned and left to the elements, and standing right behind it, a white, humanoid figure. The figure looked almost transparent, eerily still, almost like it was just lingering there. Some skeptics have suggested it could simply be a person caught by chance, but many believe otherwise. They think it could be a residual ghost, an echo of someone or something from the past, still wandering that quiet spot. What do you think? Was this just a trick of the light, or did the camera capture something truly beyond our explanation? A woman recently shared a very bizarre video of an insect that landed on her finger while she was outside. At first glance, it looked like a mosquito, but not just any mosquito. This thing was massive, about the size of a butterfly. The insect had that familiar mosquito shape with the long legs and the thin body, but seeing it at that size really makes you do a double take. And honestly, if it's some kind of giant mosquito, that's not good news at all. Think about the kind of damage regular mosquitoes cause, spreading diseases like malaria, dengue fever, and the Zika virus. Now imagine if mosquitoes were really this big. It could be a whole different level of problem. Some people who saw the video suggested it might actually be a cranefly, an insect that looks like an oversized mosquito but is harmless to humans. Still, you can't blame anyone for feeling uneasy when something like that swoops down from the sky and lands on you. Is this just a harmless look-alike, or a warning of something bigger creeping into our environment?
It can print anywhere from 0.39 inches, so a little bit under a half inch, up to about 1.1 inches tall. I got these messages pre-programmed in here on my printer that can store 10 or 30 messages of data.
While technology improves so fast, it's leaving behind endless possibilities for just about anything. Take a look at this device. It's set to print text onto a surface just by swiping it across. It's really fascinating, don't you think? You know, back in the day, people would spend hours, even days, working on graffiti art by hand, and now, just with a simple device, you could swipe across a surface and create something instantly. It really makes you wonder what else is coming next.
Programs that we got stored in here. And then I'll show you the EBS 260 next. That's our newer model that does about double the height, 2.2 inches tall. Can print logos, can print up to 5 lines of data at once, can store 50,000 different messages. This aims to replace stencils, stamps, anything handwritten you can think of. This is a great replacement for it.
Someone captured some strange footage of a woman they spotted across the street. She was standing by her truck with the driver's door open, swinging her arms back and forth and stomping her feet, almost like she was getting ready to march, but she just stayed in the same spot. She kept repeating the same motions over and over again, almost like she was stuck in a loop. Finally, at the very end of the video, she just calmly got into her truck and drove off like nothing happened. It was definitely some odd behavior and had a lot of people scratching their heads. Some people online are saying it looked like she glitched out, like something straight out of a simulation theory video. Others think it could have been some kind of ritual or even just someone working through something mentally. What do you really think is going on here? This next footage comes from Catalonia, Spain. Two hikers were out in the woods one night with just their torch and camera when they heard something nearby. They started looking around, and that's when they spotted something crouched on the forest floor. It looked pale and humanoid, so they cautiously got closer. But as soon as the creature lifted its head, one of the men bolted, running as fast as he could. The thing had glowing eyes and looked downright grotesque. Many people who saw the footage said it looked eerily similar to the skinwalker sightings people often report. One commenter even suggested that what they'd captured was a skinwalker caught while feeding, and that the hikers were lucky it was already distracted. Over the past few years, Florida has become one of the most talked about places in the paranormal community due to the suspicious activities that have been spotted there. Recently, something strange was seen in the sky over Miami, Florida. A lone cloud was moving through the blue sky when, all of a sudden, something weird happened. The cloud changed form and bent into a spiral, glittering as it did. This footage has left a lot of people suspicious, with many wondering if it could be a portal opening up or perhaps even a UFO making an appearance. What do you think? Could this be something otherworldly, or is there another explanation?
Pejado. Un dron.
A woman was making beef patties when something strange happened. The meat started turning pinkish and a weird boil-like bubbles started appearing on the surface. It looked very unappetizing, to say the least. Now, well, I'm no chef or food expert, so if it were me, I would have just freaked out like she did. But a commenter explained that this was actually normal. It's just hemoglobin and synovial fluids boiling out of the meat, which actually helps create a nice crust when cooking. Still, if you didn't know what was happening, it would have definitely been pretty unsettling to see.
Do you think I should not eat this? Or is this normal when making a burger? Or should I just throw it away? Or is it okay?
Next, we got this video that was shared by a man online. He had been experiencing paranormal encounters in his home and had been documenting them. One day while he was out, his neighbor called him and told him to come home quickly and check his house. The lights inside were flickering like crazy. When he got there, he noticed that the flames on his cooker were also on, so he quickly turned them off. As he started panning his camera around and asking, "Who are you?" you can faintly hear a calm but eerie voice respond with, "Leave." It's so faint that you might easily miss it if you're not paying close attention. One of those moments when you realize, maybe it's time to actually leave.
What do you want?
When we're on the internet, we really never know who we're interacting with on the other side. Someone recently created an app to track YouTube usage, and what they found was shocking. There were about 84 billion visits recorded. Now, we know we're no longer in the golden age of YouTube. People are mostly consuming TikTok and short videos these days, so how is it even possible to have 84 billion visits when the global population is around 8.2 billion? That's where the bot theory comes in. There's been a rumor going around that many of the users interacting with us online, not just on YouTube but across other social media platforms, might not even be real people. It's said that bots have been deployed to create fake interactions, fuel misunderstandings, and even stir up drama. Meanwhile, real humans get caught up in it, wasting time and energy arguing, following trends, or investing emotions into something that might not even exist. Because, well, seriously, if there are 84 billion visits, well, what else could be fake? Someone went snorkeling in the ocean when they came across this really strange-looking fish. The fish looked like its skin was rotting away, and, well, it kind of was. Are we looking at a zombie situation? Well, maybe, but not in the way you might think. This was actually a salmon, and in the life cycle of a salmon after they reproduce, the next stage is death. That's right. After spawning, salmon start to slowly die, but their bodies still try to move around and behave normally for a while. So what you are seeing here is a walking or swimming dead fish. But don't worry, it's not because of a brain-eating virus or anything like that, it's just part of their natural life cycle. Pretty wild, right? Someone visited this abandoned cave area deep out in the wild when they spotted something unusual. At first glance, everything looked normal, just a rocky landscape and a quiet ahead. But when they looked closer through the camera, they noticed something strange walking into the entrance of the cave. The creature blended so perfectly with the cave walls that it was almost invisible. Its skin or body seemed to have the same dusty grayish color as the stones, making it extremely hard to spot unless you were really paying attention. The movement was slow, almost cautious, like the creature was trying not to be noticed. Once people saw the footage online, the theories started flying. Some believe it could have been a dinosaur somehow surviving in hidden areas like this. Others say it might be a cryptid. There's also a group that thinks it could just be an optical illusion. Still, when you watch the footage closely, there's definitely something walking into that cave. The way it moves, the size, and how well it blends into the environment, it doesn't seem like any regular animal most of us know. So what do you think it is? A homeowner had been hearing strange noises coming from their backyard at night. At first, they thought it was probably just an animal or maybe the wind, but the sounds kept happening, so they finally decided to go take a look to see what was going on. When they got outside and looked toward the trees beyond their fence, they spotted a strange light in the darkness. At first, it just looked like a light, but when you look closer, you notice something's odd about it. It wasn't just a random glow. There was some sort of invisible creature right where the light was, and if you pay attention, you can even see it move slightly. It's almost like the light was outlining the edges of the being, just enough for it to be seen for a brief moment. The footage quickly made its rounds through the paranormal community, with many people believing it could be an interdimensional being. According to some theories, these beings can move between different worlds or dimensions, slipping into ours without us even realizing it. They might not even exist fully in our reality, which could explain why they appear almost invisible or distorted when caught on camera. But skeptics are offering other explanations like reflections, camera glitches, or even insects caught in the light. But if you watch the footage, it definitely feels like there's something more happening there. What do you think? We really have to be vigilant and present everywhere we go these days. A woman recently shared a very strange and unsettling encounter she had after checking into a hotel in Los Angeles. Not long after getting to her room, one of the hotel attendants knocked on a door and told her she needed to come outside to check on a car because of an emergency. But here's the thing, she didn't bring a car with her, and she didn't even own one. So she knew immediately that something was off. She refused to open the door or go outside, but the attendant kept insisting, getting more and more persistent about it. Later on, she posted another clip showing someone trying to get into her room, rattling the handle. She'd thankfully locked the door and stayed inside, refusing to open it no matter what. Now, people online are saying this situation is all the signs of a possible trafficking attempt, and it's chilling to think about how bold and blatant these attempts have become. The fact that they're now using fake emergencies like car issues to try to lure people out of their rooms is deeply concerning. It just shows how important it is to trust your instincts, stay alert, and never open your door unless you're absolutely sure about who's on the other side. What would you have done in her situation?
Right now I have an emergency with a vehicle, and I need to be sure that it's not attached to your room if you're not the person who has the vehicle.
I do not have a car. Why would I go downstairs to confirm that I don't have a car? Get away from my door.
Sometimes it's important to be informed about what we see and consume on the internet. Recently, a man shared this bizarre footage of himself holding a small device in his hand. In the video, he points the device down at a device on the ground and suddenly it starts beeping red like crazy. He then does the same thing to a device mounted on the wall and again it goes off beeping intensely. This got people talking. Some were saying the device was picking up radiation, while others suggest it could be detecting ghosts. Well, you know how wild the internet can get sometimes, right? But here's the real deal. It's just an EMF detector used to detect electromagnetic fields, and when you are near anything electrical like wiring in the walls, or possibly even electronics inside a drain, it's naturally gonna go off. So while the footage looks creepy and strange at first, it's actually pretty normal once you understand how EMF detectors work. Nowadays, it feels like nothing is truly as it seems anymore. We have this bizarre video shared by someone who caught something strange during what was supposed to be a normal snowstorm. At first, it just looked like heavy snow, but then they realized the snow falling wasn't normal at all. Instead of soft flakes, hard snowballs were dropping from the sky with so much force that they broke the glass windows. You could see the wind howling and the house shaking, and everything outside looked absolutely chaotic and frightening. Many people are starting to question if this kind of weather is even natural anymore. There's something called geoengineering, where governments have the technology to artificially manipulate weather patterns. In other words, it's possible to create storms, rain, or even snow using advanced technology. And that's exactly what a lot of people are speculating about after seeing this footage. So, was this really a natural snowstorm, or was it actually manufactured weather? Some men came across this sea creature that had wandered out of the water on a land. It was pretty huge, and when it opened its mouth wide, it let out this deep, thumping sound from its throat, almost like a drumbeat. Just look at that. Honestly, they look like dinosaurs if you ask me, but they're not. These creatures are actually leopard seals. Leopard seals are one of the top predators in Antarctic waters. They have these powerful jaws and a massive body built for hunting. They mostly feed on fish, squid, and even penguins. Despite their almost dinosaur-like appearance and that deep, eerie call, they're real animals living today. Still, seeing one like this up close, especially on land, is something you don't come across every day. Now, what is this? Footage surfaced showing this strange-looking plant, and honestly, it's pretty huge. It opens wide, and inside you can see this white mouth with 3 thick, slimy lines running all around it. It seriously looks like the kind of flesh-eating plants we usually see in movies or cartoons, but someone actually captured this one on camera. But is it real? Some people are saying it might be AI generated, but honestly, it looks pretty convincing to me. The movement and the textures all don't seem fake right away like some AI stuff does. Still, with how good technology is getting, you just never know these days, do you? What do you think? Twins are such an interesting phenomenon in nature, and their lives are sometimes just as fascinating. You always hear stories about twins finishing each other's sentences or even thinking alike without planning it, but here we have an even freakier version of that. These twin women were being interviewed on a TV broadcast about some sort of crime scene, and watch what happens as they talk.
Well, we were in cleaning our birds and we heard this big bang. We said, oh no, another car accident. So we drop everything and we went running out the front. We seen Mum running out from the house up there, and then the other cars were pulling up.
They speak in perfect sync. Their voices have the same pitch, the same tone, and even the same pace. It's actually creepy just how naturally they talk together at the same time, almost like one mind and two bodies. It's one of those things that makes you wonder if twins are just more connected than the rest of us, or is something even stranger going on here.
It just happens and we don't know why, but we have tried to talk separately, but we're not ourselves. It's not us, and it's very hard, and and we don't care about the critics. We tell people, if you can't stand listening to us, simply just switch off the TV.
Witchcraft, black magic, and meddling with these dark forces are very unpleasant to say the least. People will do just about anything out there. A man was out digging with an excavator when he found something strange buried in the dirt. It was a bottle filled with some kind of dirty liquid that was seeping into the ground. According to him, it smelled really bad, almost rotten. But what exactly could it be? Some are saying it might be some sort of voodoo curse or a spell that was buried on the land. Others think it could have been used for rituals or some form of dark magic. No one really knows for sure, but it definitely doesn't feel like something you'd want to mess with. Does anyone have any idea what it could be? In China, there's a cliff that's said to produce eggs. Yeah, you heard that right, eggs. But it's not the kind of eggs you're probably thinking of. Instead, they're rocks shaped like giant eggs that appear on the surface of the cliff. This strange phenomenon is said to happen once every 3 decades, and it's been going on for hundreds of years. Locals have witnessed it for generations, yet no one has been able to come up with a solid explanation for what causes it. It's one of those natural mysteries that leaves you wondering if there's something more to the Earth than we truly understand. Is it just erosion, some rare geological process, or could there be something else happening here? I wonder if someone could show me the exact spot where this is located. Someone was taking an early morning walk when they came across something strange in the blue sky. It was this weird-shaped UFO just hovering there, and what's even crazier, watch how swiftly it moves. The craft zips from one place to another at unbelievable speed. It looks almost translucent, but you can clearly make it out moving across the sky. Some people are saying this could just be AI-generated footage. Others believe it's the real deal, another glimpse of something we still can't explain. What do you think? Was it a real UFO or just editing? Pigs are considered a delicacy in some places, and in others, they're just normal meat to consume. Some religions don't even allow the eating of pigs at all, but in China, pork is consumed a lot. It's a major part of their diet. That's why this massive skyscraper you're looking at isn't a hotel or some complex apartment. It's actually an automated pig farm. Yeah, you heard that right. An entire skyscraper dedicated to raising pigs. The facility is fully automated. The pigs are moved around using elevators, and the feeding and cleaning are all handled by machines. It's said to be the largest pig rearing facility in the world. Just look at the scale of it. It's made up of 2 towers covering around 8.8 million square feet of land and stretching up to 26 stories high. And get this, around $600 million were invested into building this giant farm. It's pretty mind-blowing to think about it, isn't it? And if you ask me, it's also pretty damn cruel. Some things are just flat out unexplainable and hard to understand. Someone shared this really odd footage. They placed some screws onto a rock on the ground, and you won't believe what happened. The metal screws started melting within seconds, turning into liquid right before their eyes. Now, how is this possible? Well, a commenter pointed out that the screws were actually made from something called gallium. I looked it up, and it turns out gallium is a silvery metal that has a very low melting point of around 29.76 Celsius, which is 85 degrees Fahrenheit. So that explains why the screws seem to melt so quickly just from the heat around them. After a heavy snowstorm, a man began to hear strange noises coming from the woods. My rule of thumb in such situations is to stay put and not go out, but this man did the opposite.
I got something coming down, man. I got something screaming down there. I don't know what this is, man. Something screaming down there, man. Hello? Where are you? Show yourself right now!
As we can tell from the footage, he went out in search of the origin of the noise. As he got closer, he noticed that the noise did not belong to any animal he knew, which made him panic. Judging from the sound, we can tell it's a huge creature. We don't, however, see the creature to judge. Some think it's a Wendigo, but like I said, we don't see anything. Do you? In Georgia, a pair of famous YouTubers set out into the woods to investigate an old abandoned house. When they got there, the house was empty with not much to film, so they decided to look around. This led them to the lower part of the house. As they were there, they heard footsteps coming from the house above them, which was strange because they were the only ones present.
That's a 1958 Coke bottle, right? What is that?
So they crawled out of there only to be met with silence and emptiness. Who was that third person they heard? Was it the ghost of the former resident of the house, or was it a spirit present? Before you watch the next clip, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment? If you haven't already, it goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. In the streets of Oregon, a man captured a peculiar sight. The tarred road was steaming hot, and the tar itself seemed to be melting.
Yeah, they say this is a volcano 100 years ago, but...
The initial interpretation was that it might be a volcano, perhaps reawakening after centuries of dormancy. In situations like this, the initial interpretation often leans towards more sensational and extraordinary explanations. However, subsequent information debunked the volcanic theory. It turns out that the phenomenon was more grounded in the infrastructure beneath the surface. The steaming and melting were attributed to a hot water pipe leak. Funny, right? In 2023, a group of people had a serene visit to Lake Huma in Australia, looking forward to enjoying the tranquility of the waterside. However, their peaceful time was unexpectedly interrupted by a mysterious and unsettling sound that seemed to emanate from beyond the lake.
We're up at Bonnie Down.
The nature of the sound raised eyebrows among the visitors, as it was not akin to typical animal noises or the familiar hum of machinery. The noise, characterized by its unusual and eerie quality, sparked curiosity and a sense of intrigue among those present. When confronted with such unexplained sounds in natural settings, various factors come into play. It could be attributed to wildlife, atmospheric conditions, wind patterns, or even geological activities in the vicinity. On the other hand, human-made sources such as distant machinery or industrial processes could also contribute to such auditory phenomena. However, since none of these was confirmed, we're left to wonder what this could be.
You can hear that, right?
Yeah, what is it?
I've got no idea.
It is strange.
Venturing into an abandoned cave can indeed unleash surprises, and it sounds like this couple got more than they bargained for. They were on a hike in the mountains when they heard a noise coming from the cave nearby. Now, most folks call it a day, but not these two. They decide to soldier on. As they went further into the cave, the noise strangely stopped, but they still decided to check it out, and what they saw scared them out of the place. There, emerging from the darkness of the cave, was a creature with glowing eyes. It was very slender and tall and made a strange ticking sound. What could they have seen in the cave? Logically, there could be several explanations. It might be a creature native to the cave, perhaps a type of animal adapted to low-light conditions. Looking at its features, however, I'm pretty sure it's something sinister. AI is everywhere now and involved in everything now that we basically can no longer imagine a future without some sort of AI. But is AI as safe as we think it is? Before you answer, watch this footage. Yes, those are AI robots sitting in a game. While many think this is cute and represents an advancement in the human race, you have to agree that it could be also dangerous. I mean, what if these things turn on us and start attacking? Who would be there to keep us safe? This footage was taken in Anna, Illinois. It looks like some sort of stormy cloud, and it's very terrifying. A little research, and Julius discovered it was called a storm wall. Aaron believes it was the wrath of the gods, but thank God we have Julius for things like this. Storm walls, also known as shelf clouds, are captivating weather phenomena. Typically manifesting at the forefront of thunderstorms, they form when cold air descends, displacing and uplifting the warmer air ahead, resulting in distinctive and occasionally dramatic cloud formations. Shelf clouds look like wedges along the horizon, giving a kind of scary appearance, but they can make beautiful views. They're not tornadoes or wall clouds linked to severe weather. Instead, they happen because of the complicated mix of air movements during thunderstorms. Have you ever seen anything like this before? Share with us in the comments section. After a snowstorm, a man went walking through the forest when he came across a strange spectacle in the woods. There was some sort of white smoke coming from a tree. Now, it's very curious because it just snowed and there was no indication of a fire being lit up. This situation sparks talks on the internet. A theory emerges suggesting that the tree might serve as a clandestine passageway to an underground bunker, with the smoke serving as a telltale sign of covert activity below. Our next footage was taken by some hikers in British Columbia as far back as 2013. Take a look. They were on a mountain when they noticed a dark-furred humanoid walking below from a distance. They believed they had seen Bigfoot. Looking at the footage, it has to be. But then again, there's only so much we can see. Skeptics who saw the footage believed it couldn't be declared as a Bigfoot, which comes as no surprise to us. After all, skeptics often attribute such sightings to misidentifications, shadows, or other natural phenomena. In many cases, what people believe to be Bigfoot turns out to be a bear, a person, or some other explainable phenomena. So the question remains, was this a genuine Bigfoot sighting, or could there be a more rational explanation for the figure the hikers saw? On that note, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now before I send that creature after you. On a more serious note, it really helps out a ton and gives us the opportunity to keep making these videos for you, so please do so and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you very much. This person was driving on the road in the middle of the night when he came across this in the sky. You see it, don't you? A strange person floating in the sky. Is it human, though? I mean, it's hard to tell since whatever it is has a robe on. I have my theories on what this might be, but looking at it, what do you see? Tell us in the comments section. Still on UFOs discovered in the ocean, take a look at this one. This discovery was made by a team of explorers exploring the ocean depths. Now, when you look at it, it looks like a rusty saucer that's been left in the ocean for years, if not millennia. Upon closer inspection, the explorers noticed that it had intricate designs etched all over its surface. Although there is limited information available about this saucer, its discovery provides concrete evidence that there is some form of technology out there that does not belong to humans. If the footage is to be believed, then the professor in the previous clip might just have been right. Given the age we live in, though, the possibility of computer manipulation and CGI cannot be ruled out, even though the saucer appears to be eerily real. Many in the paranormal community did share their thoughts on the discovery. A number of them were skeptical. One person thought it was nothing more than a large seashell, but a closer look will show it's definitely not. Some even made fun of those who posted the clip. Despite the skepticism, however, some thought it might be real, just not what we're making it out to be, say a submerged submarine. However, I doubt any of the military submarines look anything like this. Some also stated it could be a UFO since they don't rust. Despite the skepticism, many held onto the belief it was a UFO. Some even called it a USO, that is, an identified submersible object. Having seen it yourself, share your personal observations. A strange wave anomaly was detected off the coast of Africa, causing a global stir on April 10, 2024. The anomaly was first detected by Ventusky, a meteorological app developed by the Czech company Inmedio. The app uses animated arcs to differentiate between wind waves and swells, giving users real-time insights into weather phenomena. The anomaly consisted of a cluster of waves that were over 80 feet high and spanned 2,000 miles, which is larger than the state of Texas. It appeared and lasted for around 24 hours before disappearing. This caught the attention of many people on social media platforms, including X, formerly Twitter, and YouTube. MRMBB333, a prominent figure in the exploration of unexplained phenomena, analyzed the anomaly in a YouTube video using Zoom Earth satellite maps to measure its dimensions. The anomaly's vast scale, larger than entire African nations and twice the size of Texas, inspired humorous and speculative responses from viewers. Many people speculated that such a large formation could only have been created by a subaquatic entity and dubbed it an unidentified submersible object, or USO, similar to a UFO but beneath the waves. Others imagined a huge sea creature like the fictional Cthulhu or an alien vessel lurking under the water. However, Newsweek's investigations revealed a more mundane explanation, attributing the anomaly to a model error. Despite the disappointment from those hoping for a more exciting explanation, the event remains a fascinating meteorological phenomenon that captured the attention of millions around the world. But what do you think? Was it just an error, as they say, or are they hiding something? Still on Bigfoot, we travel all the way to snowy Russia for our next footage. Take a look. Now, you may not understand what's happening, but the recorder of the footage decided to embark on a journey into the snowy night to prove to everyone that the Bigfoot that they had apparently been seeing was nothing more than a hoax. Once out there, however, he started to notice these strange prints in the snow. Although skeptical, he started to record just in case there was a Bigfoot, and that's exactly what he found. Some 2 kilometers from him, he saw a creature moving. Zooming in, he recorded what you see on your screen, but of course it's blurry due to how zoomed in the footage is. He truly believes he encountered a Bigfoot. Some have called the whole thing a hoax, stating that they couldn't understand how the first footage was as clear as day and the last one was as blurry as the dark night. Quite frankly, I know zooming in could do that to footage, but perhaps that's a convenient way to explain a hoax. What do you think? Did this Russian really encounter a Bigfoot, or is he playing mind games? Now that's a wild wake-up call. Imagine unzipping your tent all ready to face the day, and boom! There's a deer right there giving you the morning stare down. This camper had the experience and didn't have to imagine it. Lucky guy. It's almost like Mr. Deer there is his campsite guardian waiting for him to join the great outdoors. What do you think of it? Spooky or cute? The recent eclipse that occurred on April the 8th, 2024 in the US has been a topic of discussion among many people. However, new footage has emerged that has raised some questions and theories about the authenticity of the event. In the footage, an individual can be seen using paper eyeglasses to observe the sky, and an eclipse appears to be taking place. However, the footage takes a strange turn when the individual takes off the glasses and moves the camera to show what's happening on the other side of the sky. And guess what? There's no eclipse on the other side. It's just a blue sky with the moon. You and I know that's not possible. Naturally, this has led to several questions being asked, such as how is it possible for an eclipse to appear on one side of the sky but not on the other side? This has led to various theories that the government may be involved in faking natural occurrences. Some even posted comments like this. Some even thought we were looking at a different planet altogether. The government isn't the only one being questioned, though. The authenticity of the footage is also being questioned. A number of individuals actually suspect that the clip has been edited. They even called the edit a poor one that failed to convince. Now, I understand their sentiments. We've never heard of a half-night, half-day sky. The video also does a poor job of convincing us that it's real, but perhaps that's just me subconsciously taking a side in all this. You've seen the clip. What do you also think? Tell us in the comments section. In 2011, the Ocean X team, a Swedish treasure hunting team, discovered this mysterious object on the seabed of the Baltic Sea. This object was called the Baltic Sea Anomaly. Naturally, this incident gained attention at the time. Initial sonar images of the anomaly revealed a large circular object about 60 meters in diameter, with features that appeared to be of artificial origin. Further investigation using underwater cameras and diving expeditions revealed additional details, including strange stone formations and linear tracks that resemble drag marks. This anomaly was never figured out, so led to a lot of debate. Some suggested that it could be a sunken ship, a natural rock formation, or even extraterrestrial in nature. Despite extensive study, scientists have been unable to determine the exact nature and origin of the Baltic Sea anomaly. A man went out in the snow with his dog just to enjoy the winter. Suddenly, a wild moose appears. Now, most people would think, oh, well, it's just a moose. They're chill, right? Well, not this one. The moose decides to go full-on sprint mode toward the guy. Probably upset about something. Luckily, he moved out of the way. From what we can tell, this moose is not a morning person. The dog, on the other hand, seems to have a lot of energy because it starts to bark at the huge moose in an attempt to save its owner. Luckily, the moose did not attack any further, and the man called his dog and both retreated to the comfort of their home. Stepping away from AI potentially becoming sentient, we have another footage that shows us something else that's become rather sentient. Something that would have been the least on our list. Take a look. Yes, that's an umbrella taking a walk in the street. If you asked me which would happen first, robot dictators or walking umbrellas, I would have thought you were joking. I mean, robots taking over the world seems more plausible than umbrellas going for a walk. Alas, here we are, watching an umbrella take a walk. What do you think of it? Real, hoax, or something else entirely? Share your thoughts. In the extremely cold and snowy land of Antarctica, where temperatures are bone-chilling and snowstorms are constant, life becomes surreal and full of challenges. In this footage, you can see a woman struggling to shut her door after it was forced open by the storm. Just look at how she is struggling. This snippet offers a glimpse into the harsh and demanding conditions that inhabitants and researchers in Antarctica contend with regularly. Antarctica's reputation as the coldest place on Earth is well deserved, with temperatures plummeting to extremes that test the limits of human endurance. The continent is not only known for its freezing temperatures, but also its relentless and unpredictable weather patterns. Snowstorms, often accompanied by strong winds, can transform the landscape into a hostile and unforgiving terrain. Surviving in Antarctica demands special skills and resilience to the harsh climate and navigate through the unpredictable elements. Hold on to your hats, folks. In this interview, we catch wind of an astonishing claim. Scientists may have the keys to extending our lifespans, all by tinkering with our very own genome.
Unnecessary. We'll just mess with the genome and you live forever. Mess with the genome? Yeah, just change the genes in a way so that they don't age. We're much closer to that than separating your brain out and putting it in mice already, and putting it in a jar. They're doing that with mice. There are ways we can prolong the life of other animals, but they don't live forever. They just live longer than they otherwise would have. So I think we're much closer to that manipulation of the genome than removing the brain from your skull and sticking it in a jar.
Yes, you heard that right. No need to transfer our consciousness into futuristic robots. The fountain of youth might be in the hands of genome-tweaking scientists. But pause for a moment. Let that sink in. And if this is indeed true, it makes you wonder about all those potential cures sitting somewhere in someone's cabinet, doesn't it? Could the secrets of conquering disease like cancer be tucked away in the intricacies of our genetic makeup?
Yeah, just change the genes in a way so that they don't age.
Imagine being on a railway track and having a creature show up on it and refuse to move. This is what happened to these Russians who were simply going about their daily activities. We're not sure why the moose got on the track or why it's even refusing to move despite the loud horns, but you can't deny the fact that it's cute. If you were the one in charge of the train, what would you have done? Would you have been as patient as the ones in this footage, or would you have done something else? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section. This footage has been all over social media, and no one seems to have a good explanation. In the footage, we can see what looks like a woman in a bikini on all fours, running and jumping effortlessly like an animal. No one knows who she is or why she's doing that. Without additional information, it's challenging to pinpoint the exact motivation behind the behavior captured in the footage. However, the allure of the mysterious often fuels speculation. Some see possession, while others see mental instability. What are your thoughts? After the sun had gone down, someone captured this candid moment. In the plain blue sky with no indication of sunlight, two vibrant orange rays tear through the fabric of the sky, casting an otherworldly glow on the earth. Pretty cinematic, right? Now, the scientific explanation would lean towards crepuscular rays, those beautiful beams of sunlight filtering through gaps in the clouds or terrain. They're like nature's own spotlight, creating this awe-inspiring display. However, I get it. There's something almost mystical about it that makes you pause. Could this be just a natural phenomenon, or is there something else at play here? Sometimes the beauty of nature just has that effect on us, making us ponder the wonders of the universe. Whether it's a trick of the light or something more magical, moments like this certainly make the world feel a bit more enchanting. Don't you agree? In this next footage, we're faced with another one of those mysterious sea creatures. This one looks like a giant spider with extremely long legs. Some say that this is a big fin squid. Big fin squid, also known as Magnappina, a deep-sea squid known for their long, slender arms and unique fin structures. These deep-sea creatures are often encountered in exploration of the ocean depths, and their appearance can be quite unusual and mysterious. What stories does this spider-like denizen of the deep carry, and how does it contribute to the ever-expanding narrative of the marine marvels? We have a couple watching their newborn child on a baby monitor when they notice something strange. There on the side of the baby cot is a pair of glowing eyes looking at the baby. It stands there for a while and then goes away. We don't have much info on the footage, so we can console ourselves with the idea that that could be a dog. There is an eerie feeling, though, that makes me think it was not a dog, but some sort of evil entity that was after the child. What do you think? While out in the mountains in Turkey, a group of men came across a creature on a hill staring down at them. From the footage, we can tell that the creature had a pair of horns and eyes glowing in the dark. Its head resembled that of a goat, while its body looked almost like a human crouching down. Could this be the legendary Goat Man? Share your thoughts with me in the comment section. Throughout history, dinosaurs have remained a topic of fascination for humanity. Even today, their existence and extinction continues to captivate our imagination. To unlock the mysteries surrounding these magnificent creatures, archaeologists have studied cave paintings dating back several centuries. This leads us to a cave located in Borneo's East Kalimantan province. Here, scientists have found the oldest figurative painting in the world. The painting is of wild cattle and is estimated to be around 40,000 years old. The painting is part of a larger panel with other animal paintings, stencils, and designs, and was made using iron oxide pigment. The cave Lubang Jerichi Sala has thousands of rock art images, providing insight into the ancient history of our planet and the creatures that used to walk the earth. They aren't just rough sketches hastily thrown together. Oh no, these are intricate depictions painstakingly crafted using iron oxide pigment, with every scale and contour lovingly rendered for all to behold. Discoveries like this help researchers learn even more about our past. While those ones are easier to understand, there are also paintings like these that have scientists scratching their heads. The one who posted it refused to tell us where it's from, but a quick look at these images and you can tell they're depicting dinosaurs. But how? Aren't dinosaurs supposed to have died off millions of years ago? How is it our distant ancestors had images of them? This naturally led to a lot of debate on the paranormal platforms. Some thought this was proof that the dinosaurs still walk amongst us. Some people thought this was proof of the Hollow Earth theory, which has been visualized in modern cinema using the recent King Kong and Godzilla movie. As the debate raged on, one member of the paranormal community made a profound statement. He stated that our ancestors could have found their remains in much better shape than we have found today, which is why they could have such vivid drawings of them. When you think about it, well, that's actually logical. Is that the case, though? Until research in this area advances, we will never know for sure. But what do you think? Above the clouds, an interesting object was captured that left many wondering what it could be. The object has a unique shape with a horizontal top and a vertical part that resembles a hammer, starting from the middle downwards. It floated above the clouds for some time, casting a shadow on the clouds below. As it slowly descended into the clouds, it gradually vanished from view. The mysterious object left many wondering about its origin and purpose. Some believe it was a UFO, while others think it may have been a weather balloon or some other type of experimental aircraft. More outlandish theories propose that it was an interdimensional being or even a top-secret military craft. What do you think it is? Talk about a head-scratcher. So this dude walks into his place, right? Normal day until he spots his ring just hanging out in mid-air. If I didn't know any better, I'd say that's some weird magic show happening right there. But you have to wonder, is it a glitch in the Matrix, some supernatural shenanigans, or did the laws of physics just decide to take a coffee break? I mean, coming home and finding your ring playing the levitation game is definitely not your everyday sight. What's your take on it, though? Matrix glitch, a New Age Houdini trick, or maybe just a gravity-defying jewelry piece? Share your thoughts with us. Entering a cave and stumbling upon a pride of lions is not an everyday occurrence. It sounds like a scene straight out of a wildlife documentary. The image of these majestic creatures huddled up in a small cave opening is quite surreal. It certainly is a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence, and the one filming is very fortunate that the lions didn't see him as a threat. Even if they did, they chose to simply threaten him without attacking. Perhaps they were taking a nap after a substantial meal, or maybe they were simply not in the mood. Perhaps they also didn't want to move out of their comfort zone, as it looked like the cave offered a cool and sheltered spot for a rest. Wish I could tell you those were the only strange things happening in our sky, but it gets stranger. Our next clip was captured in Ukraine, and it has left many people scratching their heads. In the video, a whitish-looking sheet-like object can be seen hovering in the sky with its top part bent forward. The atmosphere in the video appears to be quite foggy, which adds to the mysterious nature of the sighting. At first sight, many assume that the strange things going on in the sky might be some sort of weather anomaly or unusual cloud formation. For those on the ground, that would have made sense, but those on the higher planes or buildings like the one recording saw what was really happening. They saw what you see on your screen. Spooked, they uploaded it and then sent some of the paranormal communities into a frenzy. Many had differing views on what could be going on. Some viewers speculated that the object was a blue beam projection, while others suggested that it was simply a mark on a glass window from which the footage was recorded. Interestingly, one viewer even used the alien emoji, implying that they thought the object was of extraterrestrial origin. Given the unusual appearance of the object and the varied opinions surrounding it, it's difficult to say with certainty what the footage shows. It would, however, be unwise to downplay any of the comments, since they are basically possible until proven otherwise. Unless, of course, the clip is fake, but that too has to be proven. Recently, this video was circulating on social media, and it shows strange glowing creatures floating in the sky with a luminous trail behind them. Some people are wondering if these creatures are angels, while others are skeptical and suggest that the video may be a clever hoax created using CGI. Angels are celestial beings that have been part of various religious and mythological traditions for centuries. They're often depicted as messengers or intermediaries between the divine realm and humanity, tasked with guiding and protecting people on their spiritual journeys. In the Christian faith, angels are believed to be God's messengers, while in the Islamic faith, angels are considered to be created from light and serve as intermediaries between Allah and humanity. The concept of angels is prevalent in many cultures worldwide, including Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Zoroastrianism, and others. Each culture has its own beliefs and interpretations of angels, such as the number of angels that exist or their specific roles in the divine hierarchy. What do you think of them, especially those in the clip? What would you do if you discovered a monster hiding in your roof? Sounds like a hypothetical question, right? Well, for the one who uploaded our first footage, it was not. Yes, that's the hand of a monster of sorts showing above the door. How it got there, no one knows, but clearly everyone present is scared and worried. The uploader suspects it's a potential Bigfoot, and looking at those furry hands, I don't blame her for thinking so. There are others, however, who think that it's nothing more than a monkey which found its way into their house while they were away. While the monkey explanation sounds more plausible and likely, it's not any less frightening than the Bigfoot. The uploader shared this video while it was happening live. We don't know what they discovered when they broke into the house. Which do you think it is? Bigfoot, monkey, or even a hoax? Share your thoughts in the comment section. In the next footage, we see a group of men sitting in a hospital hallway, probably to visit a loved one. They all seemed occupied with their phones when all of a sudden, a scrubbed-in doctor came running from the other side of the hallway. No one paid attention to him, but a few moments later, a wheelchair wheeled itself into the place from the direction the doctor came from. Yes, it wheeled itself. There was nobody in the chair, and neither was there someone pushing it. The man seeing this scrambled out of the place. How did the chair move? What was controlling it? How did this story end? Those are questions we may never receive answers to. When I saw this, the first thing that came to mind was that it was a hologram and an interesting-looking one at that. After watching it for a while, I realized that the individual was trying to explain, using technology, how interdimensional beings may react to our own. The comments section was crazy, with comments like, "Are you saying ghosts are not necessarily the dead, but interdimensional beings?" As much as I wanted to get into the whole thing, I felt it was Aaron's field of work since everything supernatural has to do with him. Having seen it yourself, however, what do you make of it? Now let's examine this unsettling footage captured one evening in 2023 in New York. The sky had an eerie orange hue with what appeared to be smoke or fog lingering in the atmosphere. First off, wildfires are known for casting a reddish-orange tint in the sky, and the smoke they produce can definitely create that foggy effect. If there were any wildfires in the area, that might explain it. Also, industrial activities or certain weather conditions can also contribute to hazy skies and strange colors. However, there was no report of a fire around or bad weather conditions, so what could have caused this? Is the air even safe for the people around to breathe? There is no one in sight wearing a nose mask either. Our next footage is one of the reasons why people believe that we are indeed in a matrix. A lighter was put on a table by a wall. The fire was lit, but when you looked at the wall, there was something strange going on. The shadow of the lighter was showing on the wall, but the fire was not. There could be a few explanations for such an occurrence. One possibility is that the lighting conditions and the camera angle created a situation where the shadow was more prominent than the flame itself. Shadows can sometimes be more defined depending on the light source and the angle. What are your thoughts? Have you seen a ladder take a walk? Well, if you haven't, today is your lucky day. Take a look. Yup, that's a ladder walking away. At some point, my assistant thought it was just the wind, but the wind won't move it in the way it did unless there was some invisible person working it out. We slowed the footage to try and see if there was any strings attached to any of the legs, but we couldn't find any convincing patterns that would establish it. We were left to accept that the ladder is indeed walking. How is it doing that? For we wish we knew. Perhaps some things are best left a mystery. Out in the middle of the sea, a fisherman experienced an unexpected twist during a routine fishing expedition. As he eagerly opened his fishing net, expecting a bountiful catch of fish, he was met with a surprising and unusual sight: a snake coiled among the fish. Without missing a beat, the fisherman bravely seized the snake by its head and promptly released it back into the sea. While this encounter might appear nonchalant at first glance, the video stirred some concern among viewers who identified the creature. To the casual observer, this might seem like just another fisherman's tale. However, this was no ordinary snake. It was a sea snake, one of the most venomous creatures known to inhabit the ocean depths. This man was lucky that the snake was in a good mood that day. Perhaps it wasn't luck, perhaps he was just that skilled. What do you think? At a river, a peculiar discovery was made. A cat seemingly turned into stone. The creature appeared petrified, its form transformed over time into a rigid, rock-like statue. The sight sparked various reactions and speculations. While petrification is a natural process where organic material is replaced by minerals, it's not a common occurrence for domestic animals like cats. Typically, petrification is associated with ancient remains buried in specific geological conditions over an extended period. In this case, there might be an alternative explanation, such as the cat getting trapped in a substance that hardened over time, creating the appearance of petrification. Aaron, however, thinks someone from the Harry Potter world used the Petrificus Totalis charm. Thankfully, we know when to take him seriously. While we are trying to figure out the strange creatures and phenomena that plague our world, there are also those who choose to do strange things that leave us all shocked and questioning them. This footage was taken on a train. In the footage, we see a person in a costume and heavy makeup eating spaghetti on the floor. I mean, this is a train, and I don't even want to get started on how unsanitary that is. But what is wrong with this person? Could it be that he needs help psychologically, or is he just doing this for attention? Any New Yorker with an answer? You wake up one serene morning, the world outside blanketed in fresh snow after a night of gentle flurries. As you groggily approach the window to take in the wintry scene, you're met with an unexpected sight: a majestic moose, tall and proud, right outside your window. Its breath forms little clouds in the chilly air as it curiously peers into your room, almost as if it's offering a friendly good morning. The moose, with its massive antlers and a coat of snowflakes, seems to embody the peaceful charm of the winter landscape. The possibility of life beyond Earth has always been an intriguing topic for many people. For years, scientists have used state-of-the-art equipment to search for signs of extraterrestrial life. Despite their efforts, there has been no definite proof that life forms exist, at least not one that has been made public yet. Recently, this video emerged and it sparked a new wave of interest in the possibility of life beyond Earth. The footage shows several crafts that appear to be floating above the moon's surface. These crafts have unique shapes and seem to be moving in the same direction. Now that's curious. What is the purpose of these crafts? Are they manned or unmanned? What kind of technology do they use? One of the commenters on the original post shared an interesting tale. He states that his father, who'd never believed in aliens, saw a ship through a telescope and was shocked. After what he saw, his dad became a believer. Now, there's no way of verifying this particular story, but there have been similar stories coming from all over the globe. Take a look at some of these comments. All these comments have to mean something. This video footage could be the proof that we have been looking for all along. It could be the evidence that definitely proves the existence of alien life beyond our planet. Despite the evidence, many believe it has to be false. They rationalize saying that what we are seeing was nothing more than ticks on a dirty lens. Some even suggested that they were ants. You've seen the clip and heard both sides, so what do you think is much closer to the truth? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Still on strange things in our sky, we've got this clip featuring a strange-looking cloud hovering in the sky a little too close to the ground compared to the rest of the clouds. Much weirder, this particular cloud was darker and had some peculiar object sticking out of it. Anyone who is observant would obviously realize that this was definitely a cloud with something in it, or something using a cloud as cover. Much like the last Avatar scene where Aang uses a cloud as camouflage to hide the gang in Appa, I digressed. As humorous as that sounds, I was not the only one thinking about it. Many in the comments section thought so too. They said that the cloud was camouflage, hiding something that was cloaked behind aerogel. For those unfamiliar with it, aerogel is a unique material that's known for its extremely low density and highly porous structure. It's sometimes referred to as frozen smoke or solid air because of its translucent appearance and lightweight nature. In essence, it can look like this strange cloud. The substance is, however, quite rare, which will make having this amount quite strange. This has led to speculations that this could belong to one of two groups, the government or aliens. I know it sounds like a bit of a stretch, but do you have any other possible explanation for this? If you do, please share in the comments section. We love to read your hypothesis. What creatures do you think we are looking at here? This footage surfaced back in 2018 from a farm in Indiana, and it shows what I can only describe as a hideous-looking creature. The body of the creature looks like that of a goat, but its long neck and strange face say otherwise. When this footage surfaced on the internet, people were quick to give their opinions about it, and given its appearance, most comments were pretty harsh. Some said the creature was the ugliest animal in the world. Others said it looked like the devil himself, while others called it the monster goat. But after a little research, we found out that this is not a monster goat or the devil himself. It's called a Damascus goat. They're a rare breed of goat with rather distinct features. This one, however, looks this way according to some because of selective breeding. Can the experts confirm or debunk this? If you didn't think Bigfoot or the Sasquatch was real, perhaps this next footage might change your mind. Enjoy. Once the footage starts, we're introduced to a crime scene. In a second or two, we see something dark, furry, and tall move in the background. Enter our Bigfoot. At this point, any skeptic might think that it's nothing more than a man in a costume. If you're one of those, you're forgiven. The creature moving in the background then easily picks up a tree and then hits the ground or another tree with it. Not particularly sure what it's doing, but you have to admit that it takes some strength and power to pull that off, and no man can do that. If you're a skeptic, what do you have to say for yourself after seeing this clip? Unlike the Baltic Sea anomaly, a groundbreaking discovery in space exploration has left the scientific community excited and thrilled because it's been confirmed to be of extraterrestrial origin. Harvard physicist Professor Avi Loeb and his team claim to have found material from outside our solar system for the first time. This remarkable achievement came from the interstellar expedition of June 2023, where metallic fragments were retrieved from the Pacific Ocean near Papua New Guinea. These metallic spheres, which were recovered from the ocean floor, have compositions unlike any known natural or man-made alloys. According to experts, these fragments may have come from space, which could revolutionize our understanding of the universe. This discovery is a significant milestone in the field of space exploration and opens up new possibilities for research and exploration. It provides exciting insights into the mysteries of space and the potential existence of extraterrestrial objects. The scientific community is optimistic that this discovery will lead to further exploration and research into the unknown aspects of our universe. The odd thing about the discovery is the fact that the professor suspects or thinks that whatever was discovered could be technological, which hints at intelligent life elsewhere in our universe. He's not 100% sure though, but he states that it's tougher than space rocks. Many in the scientific community are skeptical about the discovery, but no professor will put their reputation and pedigree on the line if they didn't think there was something there. Either way, it looks like we may have to wait for further investigations to come to a conclusion on this one. What does your gut tell you, though? During a recent excursion in Puerto Rico, a group of tourists visited the Isabella River. As they were sailing on the boat, Isabella, one of the tourists, noticed something unusual on the water's surface. She quickly pulled out her camera and started filming. Upon closer inspection, she saw a clear outline of a human-like creature under the water. The creature was moving at an exceptionally fast speed, much faster than any human could swim, and chased after their boat. The group was amazed and couldn't believe what they were seeing. They watched the creature for a while, and it stayed under the water for a considerable amount of time. It was evident that the creature was not human given the way it moved and the amount of time it spent under the water. The group couldn't help but share this, and it's very obvious what we are looking at here. It has to be a mermaid, siren, or some other type of mythical humanoid. There's no logical explanation for what this is. At least that's what a section of the community thinks. What about you? What do you think? Look at this beautiful little fella, a fish swimming gracefully in the shallow water, and it almost looks like it has blue wings. This stunning creature is known as the bluefin gurnard. Its vibrant, wing-like wings are not only eye-catching but also serve as an important purpose. When these fins are spread out, they resemble wings, giving the fish its unique appearance. The bluefin gurnard uses these fins to scare off predators and to stir up the sand on the ocean floor as it hunts for food. This next footage was taken after a heavy rainfall, and it's got everyone talking. A man was checking on his farm, wading through the muddy ground covered with plants and roots, when something unusual caught his attention. He used a stick to tap the roots, and suddenly they moved. Did you catch that? The roots actually shifted as if they were alive. He even threw the stick further, and whether it landed, the same thing happened. The roots moved again. It's bizarre, like the ground itself is responding. Could this be some kind of natural phenomenon, or is there something more mysterious at play here? What do you think? In 2010, a startling scene unfolded on a golf course when a man witnessed an alligator casually strolling across the greens, appearing to carry a head in its mouth. Whose head was that, and how did the creature get the head? Now, rewind to a year earlier, and the same golf course had a missing persons report linked to it. People had suspected that she was eaten by the alligator that lived in the river nearby, so when this footage came out, people panicked, fearing the gator might be wandering about with the missing woman's head. However, further investigation revealed a less macabre truth. It turns out that the alligator was not carrying a human head, but rather a turtle in its jaws. Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want us to send that big alligator after you now, would you? Exploring the depths of the ocean is indeed a fascinating endeavor, and researchers often encounter mysterious and unique creatures that are rarely seen by humans. The deep-sea environment is home to a diverse range of species, some of which have adapted to extreme conditions such as total darkness and high pressure. Some deep-sea researchers plunge into the abyss with cameras to capture glimpses of these enigmatic beings. In this footage, a particularly intriguing creature comes into view, a strange-looking creature with glowing eyes staring straight into the camera. The presence of glowing eyes in deep-sea creatures is a fascinating adaptation known as bioluminescence. Many marine organisms in the abyssal depths use bioluminescence as a means of communication, camouflage, or attracting prey. The ability to emit light in such a dark environment aids these creatures in navigating, finding food, and interacting with their surroundings. Now the question is, what creature could that be? Is it a new species or something else? My assistant Aaron could find nothing on this creature. Perhaps it's a bias because he believes it's an otherworldly creature. If any one of you know what this is, please do share in the comments section. A homeowner was reviewing his doorbell camera footage when he came across something truly unsettling. In the footage, a dark figure suddenly appeared out of nowhere walking by the front of the house. What makes this even more eerie is that the figure didn't approach the door or attempt to enter the house. It simply appeared for a brief moment, moving across the camera's view and then vanished just as mysteriously as it appeared. The figure's appearance was so fleeting that it almost seemed like a shadow passing by. But there was no one else around and no other movement that could explain it. Who or what was this figure? Where did it come from? And where did it go? A TikToker recently shared a bizarre and unsettling encounter they experienced during what was supposed to be a peaceful couple's vacation. They had visited a scenic waterfall, a spot known for its breathtaking views and tranquil atmosphere. Like many tourists, they snapped a few photos to capture the beauty of the moment. The day seemed perfect, just the two of them alone in nature. But when they returned home and began reviewing the photos, they noticed something chilling in one of the images. In the background, perched on the rocks behind them, was a mysterious figure. At first glance, it seemed like a person, but the couple quickly realized something was off. They were certain that they had been alone at the site. No one else was around when the photo was taken. The figure in the photo appears pale, almost ghostly, and seemed to be draped in what looked like white robes. Its presence was unsettling, as if it didn't belong in the scene. The couple couldn't shake the feeling that they had captured something otherworldly on camera. As they shared the photo online, the reactions poured in. Many people speculated that the figure might be some kind of entity, perhaps a spirit or ghost. The pale appearance and the eerie, almost ethereal quality of the figure led some to believe that it wasn't a living person at all, but rather something from beyond our realm. Others suggested it could be a trick of the light or perhaps an optical illusion caused by the natural surroundings. But no matter the explanation, the image has left many people feeling uneasy. This next footage was sent in by a subscriber. While driving through town, they came across this in the sky. It was a glowing cross in the sky. This is not normal, and naturally it led to some pretty interesting conversations once it was uploaded. For some, the appearance of a luminous cross in the heavens triggers thoughts of divine or supernatural significance. The notion of a heavenly sign or a symbol linked to the rapture emerges, bringing with it a sense of wonder and awe. Others, however, bring a more skeptical lens to the scene, suggesting that it might just be the product of a mundane phenomena, such as a reflection on a car window. What do you guys think, real or fake? In Mexico, this strange structure was found. It looks like some sort of abandoned tunnel that leads into an underground cave system. In there, we had strange stone structures all over. In the darkness, something interesting is revealed. Even though it's hard to see, the person filming says they saw a creature in the deep darkness. The cave is naturally spooky, and thinking about something hiding there makes us wonder what secrets might be hidden inside. Maybe it's a creature that lives underground, or it could just be a trick of the light playing tricks with our minds in the mysterious parts of the cave. One thing is for sure, I'm not going into a cave that looks like this. If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us to make more videos like this for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode. This creature was spotted on the ground in Las Vegas, and it's unlike anything you've seen before. Imagine a dark, thick liquid, almost like oil, but with one horrifying twist. It's alive. As it moved across the ground, it generated tentacle-like appendages similar to an octopus. These tendrils seemed to grow and retract as they slithered, making it one of the most unsettling sights you can imagine. It's almost as if this thing could be some sort of lab escapee, reminding me of the Calvin creature from the movie Life. The locals who witnessed this were left baffled, unsure of what they'd just seen. Could this be some unknown life form or something even more sinister? Share your thoughts. Birds flying in swarms are nothing new. From a distance, they often resemble dark clouds as they move through the sky, sometimes forming strange and mesmerizing patterns. But in this particular footage, something rather peculiar happens. The birds suddenly form an upside-down cross in the sky, holding that formation for a while before eventually changing shape. It's such an odd and seemingly random pattern for them to take, don't you think? Aaron believes there could be something more behind it, perhaps a sign or an omen of some kind. But what do you think? Is it just a coincidence, or could there be a deeper meaning to this eerie formation? As we ponder the possibility of alien life, let's explore the supernatural realm. Ghosts, the spirits of departed humans, have been thought to be part of human existence for centuries, often hiding from our sight but occasionally revealing themselves. They're said to be the remnants of those who have not yet found peace and continue to linger around the living realm. Various pieces of evidence have been presented to support their existence, such as footage of dark apparitions crossing roads and appearing in surveillance camera, feeding dogs. These entities resemble humans in many ways, but their intangibility distinguishes them from the living. They can appear and disappear at will and can pass through solid objects such as walls or cars without any resistance. While they're believed to be humans who have passed on, what if there is more to these entities than we currently understand? What if they're not just remnants of the departed souls, but rather something else entirely? There have been theories that suggest that ghosts could be a manifestation of energy or a projection of our consciousness. Things get even weirder with this next clip taken in Asia. We're not told where exactly, but a strange fleet of lights was seen in the night sky. The lights were arranged in a unique formation and moved in synchronization. Usually, these formations are mostly seen with migrating birds, but it's highly unlikely that this was the case here. Birds don't emit any light, which would make it difficult for them to create a spectacular display in the dark. Despite this, many in the comments section believed that they had to be birds. Logically speaking, that's very unlikely unless there are some bioluminescent birds out there that glow in the dark. Oddly enough, many held onto the idea. There were some, however, who believed that the whole thing was simply blue beam tech being tested by our government. If you've followed the channel for a while, we've mentioned it several times. Although there's no definitive proof of its existence, many in the paranormal community believe that there's a powerful machine out there that's capable of creating illusions in the atmosphere. This, they believe, belongs to the government for the purposes of misinformation and control. The hologram projections from this machine are allegedly so powerful and incredibly realistic and can take on any form. They can be used to create an illusion of something that's not there. This could be very convincing. Despite the skepticism surrounding the product, the possibility of this being a product of blue beam technology cannot be ruled out. However, others believe that the display could be a result of drone activity. The question remains, though, why so many drones for a single display? Also, if it was a drone display, surely we would have found some information on it, but try as we may, we found nothing. Unless, of course, we're looking in the wrong places.
Mira, andamos demoliendo una casa. Y lo que salió dentro de la pared.
Whenever individuals remodel or renovate their houses, they find things they never knew existed in their homes because they're typically sealed off. That's exactly what happened with the house you're seeing on your screen. The house was actually being demolished. It was going smoothly until they discovered this mummified and unidentified creature in the walls of the house. That's definitely not normal, right? The workers were allegedly spooked and paused work for a while. One of them took a picture and uploaded it online, and that's how we also got wind of it. The big question here is, what exactly are we dealing with? The simple truth is, no one truly knows. Some think it's a mummified bat, which sounds a bit logical. When you look at it up close, however, you can tell it has to be something else. Some also suggested it might be a dried devilfish. That was the first I'd ever heard of this term. After doing a bit of research, I understood why they thought it was that. Anyway, you've seen the clip too. What do you think we're dealing with here? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section.
Mira, andamos demoliendo una casa. Y lo que salió dentro de la pared.
Next, take a look at this massive tree. It looks like a giant toothbrush with green bristles, don't you think? Well, you can find this fascinating tree in the southernmost part of New Zealand on the South Island. In this part of the island, trees grow in such an unusual way. Their branches all lean to one side, and there's a reason for this peculiar shape. The constant, powerful air streams in this region exert pressure on the trees, forcing their branches to grow in one direction. That's why they look like this. It's quite funny looking, but also an amazing example of how nature adapts to its environment. I just realized I didn't mention the name and species of the tree. Think of this as your second assignment. The person who can get this right will receive a nice prize from me. Again, another woman recently shared some eerie footage captured by her doorbell camera, which she reviewed while she was at work. The notification alerted her to motion detection on her front porch, prompting her to check the video feed. What she discovered was truly unsettling. On a porch sat a flower pot, vibrant and normal in appearance, filled with fresh blooms. However, if you look closely behind the flowers, partially obscured by the shadows, there was something deeply unsettling. A ghostly humanoid figure can be seen standing silently facing the house. Its presence was almost surreal, adding to the atmosphere of unease. This sighting is particularly striking because the woman has reported that her house is haunted. She has experienced numerous strange occurrences over the years. While she remains accustomed to these supernatural events, for others who witnessed the footage, this particular sighting is profoundly disturbing and unsettling. The figure's stillness and hidden nature only amplify the chilling effect of the experience.
What the Again. It happened again. What the fuck is going on? Yo.
So this guy was out one night when he noticed some orange lights in the night sky. At first, he thought nothing of it, but then remembered he'd been seeing similar posts online about UFOs hiding in plain sight. This prompted him to record and share this clip on TikTok. Once the clip hit the internet, it made its way to our paranormal platform, where many believers think this is the real deal. They have stated that the back of the craft looks like the thrusters of alien ships that are rumored to have. Some are also skeptical, stating it could have been faked to go viral on TikTok. I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt, but what say you? Culture and religion have always played a significant role in human life, shaping beliefs, traditions, and the way people interpret the world. However, as science continues to advance, it's often providing logical explanations for phenomena that we once considered supernatural or divine. Take this example from India. A statue on a building began leaking water one day, which many locals believed to be a divine sign. Crowds gathered, lining up to touch the statue, pray, and collect the water as a blessing. For them, this was an encounter with the divine. However, upon investigation, it turned out to be a case of a leaking air conditioner pipe, not a miraculous event. The water wasn't holy, but rather a condensation from the AC unit. This incident doesn't necessarily discredit the faith of those who believed, it simply shows how human interpretation often fills in the gaps when science isn't immediately available. What do you think? Back in the 1970s and 80s, the Korean government initiated a city cleanup campaign. Under the guise of removing homeless individuals and undesirables from the streets, they rounded people up and sent them to a facility known as the Brothers' Home. But what happened there was far from charitable. Survivors of the Brothers' Home recall horrifying experiences. Many claim they were kidnapped and taken to this facility against their will. The people detained ranged from children to adults to the elderly. Anyone could be a target. The guards in the facility reportedly dressed in uniforms strikingly similar to those worn by the enforcers in Squid Game, red bodysuits. Detainees were also made to wear uniforms in distinct colors mirroring the show's visuals. Inside, they were forced to play games. And just like in the series, failure had deadly consequences. Survivors recount stories of people losing their lives or enduring severe abuse. Disturbingly, rumors suggest that these games were orchestrated for the entertainment of wealthy and powerful individuals across the globe. Watching Squid Game is already a chilling experience, but discovering that it mirrors such a dark chapter of history, well, nothing could have prepared me for this. So you guys have seen all the mysterious fog clips we've posted, but have you seen this? Before you ask what this is, allow me to tell you it's snow. I mean snow like S-N-O-W, snow. Maybe I didn't need to spell that out, but you get the idea. Snow definitely doesn't act like this. Looking at this, you might think we gathered salt around or something, but that's just not the case. It's actually snow, and it seems to be made up of certain fine particles. One commentator on the post went like, "Everyone is talking about smart dust or smart fog. We should be asking if there is smart snow. This is weird." I must say I do agree with him. This is weird. Does any of you have any idea what might be going on here? Please share if you do, even if it's the logical and skeptical kind. This eerie moment happened at a wake when a family member stood over the glass-covered casket of the deceased. The footage shows the woman in the casket with her eyes wide open, a haunting sight that caught everyone off guard. Then someone leaned in to take a picture of the deceased. As their hand moved away, the woman's eyes appeared to shut completely. The shift is undeniable, from open eyes to closed in an instant. Could this be real? Some believe it's possible that the angle of the glass or lighting caused an optical illusion, making the eyes seem open or shut depending on how the light hit them. Others think it could be an intentional or unintentional use of a filter, especially if the footage was captured on a smartphone. Modern devices often have AI-enhanced features that can adjust faces even in strange and unintended ways. What do you think? Have you ever seen how a river freezes up in the winter? This footage shows just how mesmerizing the process can be. At first, the surface of the river looks all sloshy, like a mixture of water and chunks of ice floating around. As temperatures drop further, the process continues. The slush thickens and begins to bind, creating a delicate interlocking pattern that spreads across the surface. Eventually, the entire river hardens into a seamless sheet of ice, its once lively ripples stilled under winter's icy grip. This phenomenon is a fascinating interplay of physics and nature. The freezing begins as the water loses heat to the cold air above. Moving water resists freezing more than still water, which is why rivers often freeze from the edges inward. A group of kids was enjoying a day at the fair, excitedly capturing videos of their surroundings. The fair was bustling with activity. There were countless people about, some laughing as they rode the Ferris wheel, while others enthusiastically participated in various games and attractions. As one of the kids panned the camera around, it unexpectedly caught a glimpse of something unusual on the ground. It was a small creature with a pale face, staring directly into the lens with an eerie curiosity. However, when the camera returned to the same spot just moments later, the mysterious creature had vanished without a trace. What kind of creature could that have been? Some are saying it looks like a duende, but what do you think? This strange sight was captured in the northwest of Ningjiang. What you're looking at is a peculiar mountain-like formation with what appears to be the shape of a person standing at the very top. The figure seemed to be draped in a robe, giving it an otherworldly vibe. At first glance, it looks like a classic case of pareidolia. That is when our brain sees familiar shapes like people and random objects. But here's where things get interesting. Some paranormal enthusiasts believe this could be more than just an illusion. They suggest it might be a glimpse of the fabled city in the sky, a mysterious place said to exist beyond our reality. It's whispered about in legends as a mystical place believed to transcend our earthly realm and shrouded in mystery and wonder. Its existence has sparked imaginations for centuries, inspiring tales of ethereal beauty and unreachable heights. So what do you think? Is this just our minds playing tricks, or could there be something more to this mysterious figure? So, someone sent this to us claiming it's a humanoid cryptid captured by his Trailcam. As much as I love the sound of that, this is no Trailcam capture, at least to my video editor. He thinks this is an AI image that was prepped and sent to make it look authentic. The fingers and poor blend of the wolf and human facial features give it away. Perhaps we're the ones being skeptical and unreasonable. What do you guys also think? Take a look at these Trailcam captures. Do you notice anything weird? Anything weird and unusual at all? No? Well, let's focus on the second image. There's a ghostly being standing on the right side of the man. It's faint, but if you pay attention, you should see it. Seen it now? Good. These images were captured on a Trailcam just seconds apart. The man in the image never really noticed there was someone with him. In fact, it took looking at the image a few times to notice that there was someone or something in it other than himself. He uploaded the pic into paranormal groups asking if anyone had experienced anything similar. Different views, opinions, and experiences were shared, but one response that ran through was the fact that this was indeed a paranormal encounter. Some thought it was a ghost, whereas others thought it must be a spirit belonging to the forest. You've seen the image. What do you also think? A family enjoying a day out in a field decided to record a video to capture the moment. Everything appeared normal at first until they reviewed the footage they'd just captured. Out of nowhere, a bicycle without a rider zipped past at an incredible speed. It was so fast that none of the family members noticed it during the actual event. Only upon watching the video later did they spot the strange occurrence. Could this be an elaborate hoax, a cleverly controlled remote bike, or perhaps even something supernatural? Others suggest it might be a video editing trick. What do you think? A woman was home alone with her cat one quiet evening. She had been filming herself gently petting her feline companion, just a simple, cozy moment, nothing out of the ordinary, when suddenly a loud bang echoed through her house. Startled, she got up to check where it came from. She searched the house but saw no one. Everything seemed perfectly normal. Trying to shake off the unease, she returned to her room, but then she heard something far more chilling. Footsteps. They were coming from the stairs and getting closer. Thinking it might be an intruder, she rushed to grab her pepper spray, but when she turned toward the doorway with her camera still recording, she froze. Right there on her bed were 3 deep imprints shaped exactly like human handprints pressed firmly into the blanket. There was no one in the room, no sign of how they got there. That was enough for her. She bolted from the house without looking back, and to this day she's no explanation for what she saw. Some people believe it could have been a ghost. Others think it might have been a trick of the light or a mind playing games, but how do you explain those clear handprints? Whatever it was, it clearly didn't hide its presence. The big question now, however, is what did she do after this? That we don't know, but what would you have done? And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.